For the benefit of me and anyone else who's listening, tell us about you, your dating life, what's going on. What has happened to bring you to the point where out of anything you could possibly be doing with your time right now, you're like, you know what? I'm going to hire a dating coach and get this area of my life handled.
Yeah, sure. So essentially, I think last year I got divorced. I was together with my ex-wife for 12 years. But prior to that, I'd had very little experience. I'd been in one serious relationship. I was a bit of a late bloomer and didn't have my first girlfriend until I was like 25 or something. So I was interested in like pickup and this sort of space before then, but I never actually did anything. I never actually acted on anything. And then I became a Christian as well just before I met my ex-wife. That then changed the way I approached dating. Like I saw it as date to marry, and I was coming up to my late 20s, and basically like I met this girl. Within a year, we got engaged, and we were married within a year and a half. So I kind of, in the back of my head, I had that feeling of like I haven't gone through the steps. I haven't done the rites of passage as a guy. Don't really understand women. And so yeah, it was a bit discombobulating basically to get back into the dating space. Last year I just turned 40. I'd newly gotten separated. I was like, oh, what the hell am I doing? And essentially last year was just about like taking some time to, work out what was happening. So I consumed a lot of content of like pick up and game and stuff. Discovered you last year. Got the God tier dating product, but didn't really act on it until I was ready. Um, and yeah, just lost some weight, tried to regain some friendships because I isolated myself. And then this year in January, I sort of had my time, like, I suppose, healing or whatever. And I went back out there into the, wild world of dating, joined Hinge. Within about 2 or 3 months, I'd had about 15 dates, something like that. I've sort of been stop start since then, but largely I'm getting to a place where it's been harder than I expected. Very, very challenging. You can know a lot of theory, but applying it is completely different. And a lot of times from dates, I've had the whole "you're a really nice guy, but" thing. Really frustrating. If only they knew I wasn't a nice guy. Um, but yeah, typical story really. Probably as well some of my religious beliefs. I'm still a Christian, but I'm in a different place where it comes to how I see relationships. I'm in a bit of a battle of how that comes across, and that's led to a bit of a fear of making a move, like fear of like going in for the kiss, fear of touch. Um, your work already has helped me maybe become a bit more verbally expressive, being a bit more cheeky chappy and stuff because I've got that in my personality. It's just bringing that out. So I'm here really because I've realised that as a 40-year-old, I can't do this on my own. I need some help. So you can look at products and you can look at theory, but actually doing the action is really difficult. So I'm kind of drawn to your help and your support really to help me actually apply this stuff and deal with the stuff as it comes up.
If I was a fly on the wall and you're on a date with some woman for, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 hours or so, what does it actually look like? Like, what's actually happening? What is it that you're doing that you don't want to do? What is it that you can't do that you want to do? Paint a picture.
I feel like I'm connecting with women pretty well. As like I've always been the guy that's been pretty good at like emotionally connecting with a woman, and that's really how my dating sort of played out. I've sort of got them to open up to me, to trust me, to feel comfortable with me. Um, at the start, when I started dating this year, I was just playing it super safe. Um, I think I have kind of moved forward from that in the sense that now I'll be a bit more direct. I might talk a bit of, make some rude jokes and talk a little bit about things to do with sexuality and, a little bit more flirtation and being a bit less boring. Um, but I still have this tendency to maybe to kind of talk about deep things and can't really control that. And so on one hand, though, I'm trying to casually date because I feel that's the most honest thing for where I'm at emotionally and on my journey. I want to go through that rites of passage. But at the same time, I'm in serious relationship mode, I guess. And the girl's getting kind of a bit, I'm being rejected by the kind of more casual ones for being too nice, and not forward enough. And I think I'm probably being rejected for the serious girls because they can see that I'm in internal conflict about what I'm wanting as a guy. So it's just struggling to express that, struggling to, I'm almost looking for like real permission and real signs to escalate. And often my head's going, no, she's not showing X, Y, Z sign. So I'm backing off. And then at the end of the night, I get the message, you know.
What signs are you looking for then? So, if you're on a date with a woman, what does she need to do to let you know that it is okay for you to make a move?
You like jump on top of me. I don't know. I think it's probably, I joke, but I probably need, I might do like little things that will test the water. Like I'll try and, um, I don't know, might do like a little touch or something like that. And to be fair, I'm not often getting like a negative, recoil or anything like that. I'm maybe just expecting that maybe they'll reciprocate more or, you know, like the other day I went on a date a couple of nights ago and she was getting something from the bar and I sort of sat down and we were on this like settee thing. And I guess I was hoping that she would come and sit right next to me and be close. But she sat a bit of distance away. Um, and I guess I was in that awkward position of like, do I scoot over to her? Do I like kind of close in? And I did for a little bit and then I pulled back because I was like, not quite sure. And I guess I'm maybe looking for more verbal indications from them or something of interest because it's like I'm trying to read that. And it's like I feel almost like I feel like I need the permission to show my intent. So I'm like trying to just give a little hint, and then I'm not getting anything, and then I'm like, oh, this is just weird.
What I'm basically hearing is, and stop me if I'm wrong, there's a lot of shame around being sexual and a deep fear of being perceived as creepy, weird, creepy, sleazy, that sort of thing.
Yeah, like I'm imposing on them a little bit if like I'm burdening them if I make them feel uncomfortable or something like that.
Mm.
Uh, but at the same time, I know that I need to do something like it's always like a pressure as well because I know that I need to take the lead and step into kind of that. I think in some ways I am naturally like a leader and naturally dominant, but not in the dating sphere. It's like I just go a bit too cautious and a bit too considerate.
Usually, from what I've seen, when a guy is afraid of making a move, it's because he assumes there's things about him that would make the woman reject him on some level. If I make a move, she won't want it because of X, because of Y, because of Z. What are those things with regards to you? I.e., you're on a date with some woman and you lean in for a kiss and she backs away and then she goes, oh, you know what? Sorry, I'm just not really interested, blah, blah, blah. What are the reasons that you believe why she would say that?
I have been like looking into a lot of the manosphere stuff and probably that reality of like that thing about, you have to be 6 foot, you have to be earning six figures, those sort of things. I kind of have bought into a bit and then maybe some of the rejections that I've had have kind of almost confirmed that in my mind. Um, and I know logically it's more of a complex picture than that, but I think it might also be the fact that because I'm going through transition, I've had difficult times, coming out of divorce and difficult issues with my confidence, particularly. I almost feel they won't like me because those wounds are kind of in play. And I don't ever try and like burden the woman with my feelings or whatever, but naturally, I suppose I feel a bit like damaged goods and maybe too old or whatever. And yeah, maybe that just holds me back. And yeah, I don't really fully know because I'm big into like affirmations and things like that. But it's just, I guess, in that moment of like high pressure, it's easy for me to assume a negative about myself. Yeah, I don't know really. Maybe it's struggling as well when you don't get the signs, when it like almost feeling like I need really explicit permission.
All right, so what I'm hearing is you're short, you're poor, you're old, and apparently transitioning as well. Yeah.
That's a loaded word nowadays, isn't it? Not in that
Uh,
way.
well, but okay, so I hear you. So all of that is playing in your head. In an ideal world, what I'm guessing you would like is you want a woman to be like, hey, just so we're clear, I'm quite attracted right now, and I'd really love it if you would kiss me. You would also love a woman to say, hey, how about you come back to my place for some fun? Just so we're clear, I want you to come back to my place for sex, not just to sit and watch TV. This is actually what I want. And that's kind of what you're hoping for, isn't it?
It would be a bit strange, but yeah, probably.
But you want like clear communication.
Out.
This
Yeah.
is what I want from you. Kind of like you see on TV. So I was watching a show called Sex Life. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I've heard of it, yeah.
No, sorry, not Sex Life. There's a show about teenagers, and it's about teenagers having sex, and the main boy is this kid called Otis, and he's like 16, and he's quite.
Sex education, yeah.
There
I've
we
seen
go.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he always finds himself in situations where girls are just like plainly letting him know they want to have sex. Like there's a girl's like, Otis, I want to have sex with you, Otis. I want to have sex with you now. That just never happens in real life at all. But that's the kind of thing that you want. So something that we will speak about and something you should be aware of when as it pertains to women, which is that men really value like clear and direct communication. So if you say to a man, are you okay? He might lie and say yes if the answer is no. But whatever he says to you, that is 100% what he wants you to take from it, whether he's telling the truth or lying. But of course, a woman, she'll say yes, but actually she does feel bad, but she wants you to figure it out. Or you might be driving somewhere. I had an ex who used to do this all the time. We'd be like driving somewhere and she'd go, are you hungry? Now, really what she means is she's hungry. That's what she means. She means she's hungry, right? But she wants me to just bring it up. As opposed to, like, my best friend would just be like, mate, I'm really fucking starving. Let's go get some food. Point is, for one reason or another, women deal in the realm of the subtleties. They're not really direct. And another thing is that women like a man to lead as well. So you have a being that's subtle and also wants you to lead. So that means that they're not going to initiate something, and they're also not going to directly tell you that they want you to initiate it either. So that's something to be aware of. Another thing to be aware of is this. It's like women don't operate on the bleeding edge of their comfort zones. Like they don't. Which means this. So if a woman grabs your bum randomly, I mean, I'm sure this must have happened to you once or twice where someone was just, yeah, she would have been comfortable with you doing more than that. If she just grabbed your bum and then you just grabbed her breast, she would have actually been okay with that. If she puts her hand on your thigh and now you put your arm around her, she's going to be comfortable with that. They always want you to go at least a couple steps further than they actually go themselves. If she kisses you, you can pull her in closer. Now you can start grabbing on her cheeks and whatever. You need to lead. But the thing is this, it's like you also have to be calibrated to whether or not what you're doing is working as well. So you're worried about looking creepy. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to look like a creep or I'm going to offend her. But like, let's say if you put your hand on her hand and she didn't like that and she stiffens up, you take your hand away and then it's all good.
Yeah, true.
The issue isn't that you made the move and it wasn't wanted. The issue is that after she signaled that she didn't want the move, you continued anyway, oblivious to the fact that it wasn't wanted. But if you noticed and then took it away, no harm, no foul. But essentially, though, what I'm basically catching from all of this is there's the shame around the sexuality, which I'm guessing has to do with a number of things, maybe to some degree, your Christian beliefs and whatnot. Facts that you feel like you missed this rite of passage, And to a degree, I'm guessing, like this is an exaggeration, but do you probably feel like you're a bit of a virgin?
Yeah, like I'm not, but I think it does feel a bit like it.
Mm.
Yeah.
In the sense of,
Compared to other people.
yeah, new, naive, inexperienced, all of this sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But what I'm also hearing is when you communicate with women, they really like you. It seems like when women spend time with you, they're like, I am glad I spent time with this human being. Which isn't nothing. That's a lot. That is great. That's a fantastic base to have. Like the little cherry on top of like this sexual attraction piece. That's easy in comparison to what you actually do have. You are unable to express yourself sexually. That's what we're going to work on. I'm going to send you a bunch of documents that will explain basically how you can do that, as well as practical tips for what to do when you're on dates as well, in order to show that sexual side of yourself without being weird or creepy. But then I also want you to do some exercises too. So, the first exercise that I want you to do, and you're just going to do this once, it might take you 3 or 4 or 5 days, but then once it's done, it's actually done, is to sit down and write out every way that you have hurt yourself by being the version of yourself that's led to this call, i.e., Mr. 40-year-old virgin. You know that film? Well, that film's about you, apparently. So there you go, right? It's the 40-year-old virgin. How have you hurt yourself? But what it means is this. So you had a date with a woman, and let's say she says, hey, you don't really have confidence. You don't think you're the shit. You're kind of lacking. It's like, okay, great. There's the issue with your ex-wife. I mean, negative things obviously happened in that relationship. I'm not too sure what, but obviously you didn't divorce with it being a bed of roses. There was a downplay there. Maybe you've used escorts in the past. Maybe you spend time looking at porn and you feel ashamed about that. Maybe there's times when you've gone out and you've bought things which you thought would impress women, but it actually didn't. Or times when you wanted to ask out a girl, you really wanted to do it, but you were too afraid to do it. And then your friend did it, your best friend did it. And then you had to watch your friend, your best friend, dating this girl for months. And deep down, you really wanted her. And you're like, if only I had the courage. So you're going to write out every single way that you have hurt yourself in one way or another. Like everything though. So by the time you were done, it should take you a really long time to read all of this stuff. When I did my list would take me 30 minutes to read. 30. Like literally 30 minutes. Like I'm 30 minutes of doing nothing else because it was every freaking thing that I could think of. Boom, 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 boom. And when that list is done, you should find it really painful, and ideally you would cry while you're looking at it. And we want those tears. We need those tears. Those are the delicious tears of transformation. Because basically the way the human brain works is that we care more about being comfortable than we do about being happy. And the way that you currently are is pure comfort. And in fact, it's not just comfort, it's safety as well. Safety. So, for instance, now, there is somebody right now who is trying to lose weight and have been doing it for about 2 months and they've lost a bit. And they're like, hey, okay, I'm trimming down. But they could continue and become a fitness model, but they're actually not. What's going to happen is now they've lost a little bit of weight, they're going to stop and then they're going to put all of the weight back on. Because their brains have programs running that say, this is who the hell I am. This is Mark version 1.0. This is Kieren version 1.0. And you can't do anything that is in opposition to the operating system unless you show the brain why the current operating system is faulty. And that's why we create that long, extensive list. And add to it as much as you can. And then once you've got the list, read it out as well. Read it out to remind yourself, like, this is what the hell I do not want. This is the horror, nightmare hellscape that I'm escaping. This isn't comfort. There's nothing comfortable about this. This is death. This is terrible. Anyway, so we do that. Then I want you to write out how your life will be fixed, healed, transformed, wonderful as a result of sorting all of this stuff out. So now you're going to have to use your imagination. So, what will it be like in 3 months' time when you open your phone and you've got two messages from two different women? One saying, "I had a fantastic time with you last night," and the other one is saying, "Hey, are we still on for tomorrow?" You're like, "Oh, well, okay then." Or you have another woman who says, "You know what? No man has ever made me feel the way you made me feel last night. My gosh, that wasn't even just sex, that was something else." You're like, "Oh, okay. Well, alrighty then." Or maybe it's 5 years into the future and you're now remarried. There you go. With new children. Maybe as a result of the work we do, you carry yourself with a level of confidence, which means that your ex-wife is now looking at you in a new way as well. And I don't mean like she's attracted to you, although maybe she is. Probably would be, to be honest, but that's not even it. I mean, like, respect. Huh. Look, gosh, look how Mark's carrying himself now. And like, people at work and friendship circles, like, write all of it down. Because that is what we are moving towards. We're moving towards all of that. So it's kind of like the carrot and the stick. So the carrot would be the positive vision of your life, and the stick that you're running away from is all of the nightmare hellscape of the past. Then, what I also want you to do, so you're going to do those, and you'll do it once. It might take you a few days, but you do it once, and then you keep looking at it again and again and again. Then I want you to write out all of the traits of the ideal version of Mark, i.e., the version of you who is comfortable expressing himself in that way. But what does that guy look like? Like, how does he sit? How does he stand? How does he dress? How does he interact with women? What does he do differently on dates that you don't do? How you said that you've been times when you're on a date and you weren't sure if you should close that gap. Well, this version of you would be very comfortable closing that gap. So what does that look like? So write all of that out, and you're going to write it out so well that you could give that version, or give a document of that guy to somebody else and have them write him into a book or a movie or something like that. And it will be accurate though. But it'll be accurate. It's like, right, yep, they've nailed the character. They've nailed the character because you gave them so much info that they couldn't not nail the character, if you see. So you're going to do that. Now, the reason why you're doing that is because in order to build something, you need to know where you're going. You know, like, I'm in a house right now. Well, I would imagine somebody had some design for this house before they started laying the bricks. I mean, I don't know for a fact, but it's worth a guess.
Some stories.
Yeah, I've heard horror stories too, but you know what? This seems like a pretty well put together home. It's worth a guess. But anyway, point being this, right? So to build something, you have to know what it is that you're creating. So that's what we're doing. I want you to visualize yourself as that version of yourself. Well, firstly, as much as you can. You can't do it too much. It's like impossible to do too much. However, 2 times when I definitely want you to do it are at night before you fall asleep and in the morning just after you wake up. Because the state of mind that you're in is beta waves or theta waves. I always forget, but those are very powerful, and that's when your brain is really suggestible. Another one is you are going to start acting in accordance with this guy as well. So apparently Christians say, what would Jesus do? Right? And I've never heard this explained, but it's pretty obvious. It's like, well, what would Jesus do? Okay, I guess that's what I should do. That's got to be the point, right? Yeah, right. So with you, fine, there's what would Jesus do, but in addition, there's also what would ideal Mark do as well. WWMD. Okay? All right. And then take those actions. Now, that will feel very weird at first, but it will get easier and easier and easier over time. So in addition to reading all of the information that I send you, that I'm going to send you, and, well, you're going through it, poring over it, And in addition to doing the homework that I sent, I mean, that's effectively it. And then we will be in communication through WhatsApp throughout the week. Message me back and forth. Be really annoying. Let me know when you've got successes. Let me know when you've got failures. And then we will be back here once a week for a catch up to see where we're at. But actually, one more thing. So, what is the end goal of success for you? So, in 6 months' time, you've got exactly what you want. Your life is where you need it to be. You're happy as Larry, pleased as Punch. What is actually going on? What is the state in your life?
I think it's to know, or to at least be on the way to knowing abundance, to the point where the higher purpose, I guess, is to make good decisions about my dating life, to find the right person or people, or however my dating life's going to look in the future, to know that I'm doing that from a position of strength, that I can offer the best I can give and connect with them and know how women operate and things like that. And yeah, it's also to have like some really fun experiences that enhance my life and make me grow in all aspects, as a dad, growing my career, growing other ways, because that's how I really see this. It's like a cornerstone, pivotal thing that I think can have massive impacts on all aspects of my life. So I think, yeah, getting that momentum.
For the people who are listening, it'd be good if there's like something tangible where there's like a measurable unit of success. So let me just say this. Yeah, for instance, how often do you have dates that turn physical right now?
Uh, non like all of this year that I've been doing it, and that's been 6 months basically.
Absolute minimum I am prepared to accept in 6 months, and I'm saying minimum, is sex with 2 women per month. Any less than that, and I am an absolute failure. But that's the bare minimum that I am prepared to accept to say, okay, this was okay. In an ideal world, within 6 months, I would like you to be having carnal encounters 4 times a month with different women. We could have much more than that, but let's say in a month, you date 4 different women and have sex 4 times. That's what I would want in a month.
I think the thing is, I want to be doing that in a way that has everyone coming out of it. I know it's probably not always possible, but that is mutually uplifting for all parties, really. So, yeah,
Well,
that sounds awesome.
well, speaking about things being uplifting for all parties, I mean, here's the thing. Like, number one, not every woman wants a relationship. Now, but it's very true. There's tons who don't, although the world doesn't really draw that much attention to them. But that's number one. Number two, and here's another thing: it's the only way you can be hurting women is if you're lying to them. So if you are open about who you are and what you want, you'll find that they'll find that very refreshing. Because what women are used to is you don't hear women saying these men don't want relationships. You hear women say these men don't want relationships, but they lie to you and make you think that they do, and then sell you on a dream. And then when they've got you into bed, then they ditch you. So if you're saying, hey, I'm recently divorced, I'm finding myself, and none of this is a lie, I am not in the place for that kind of emotional commitment right now. However, that doesn't mean that I don't respect you. It doesn't mean that I don't enjoy your company. It doesn't mean that I don't see you as a human being or a fantastic person. It doesn't mean any of that. But right now, I can't commit to that. If you're upfront about that, you will be surprised how many women will say, okay.
I just feel that when I've done that recently, it's been like the barrier's gone up straight away. But yeah, almost like it's hard to know when to bring that up and when.
It's all about how you present yourself, though. So let me explain what I mean. You're meeting women on dating apps. Remember, you even said earlier that you feel like there's a miscommunication and in how you're presenting yourself.
100%, yeah.
On a dating app, I am certain you look like you are trying to be a boyfriend. Then, when you're messaging women, you're messaging them like you're trying to be a boyfriend.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything about your presentation and demeanor says, I am a potential boyfriend. Then you go, oh, that's not really what I want.
Yeah.
Mm.
The polar opposite of being a boyfriend is a fuckboy, which isn't what I'm telling you to be. But it's the polar opposite. But the point is, if you looked like a fuckboy, you wouldn't have women getting annoyed when you said, oh, actually, I don't want anything. I don't want a relationship. You're positioning yourself as the provider, nice relationship guy and nothing else. Whereas your profile in and of itself needs to reflect what it is that you want. You could even say in your profile, I'm not looking for anything serious, but I'm looking to connect with great women. You could say that in your profile.
Completely spot on. That is very much how my profile is.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll work on that though. We shall work on it.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, well, you and me both. Let's do this.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Let's do this.